It's your boy Big Stacks Porzingis, Pee Wee the Plug, aka Mr. Know-It-All, the #1 Knicks fan in the world, and I'm finally back with a brand new NBA 2K19 Myleague series. A lot of y'all have been asking where I've been. Am I going to ever upload anytime soon or at all? A lot of different things going on with the podcast, a lot of things going on with the music management side. So because of that, I had to take a little step back from YouTube, of course. But thanks to y'all encouraging words, y'all messages on social media, y'all steady telling me to come back. I'm finally back. Here we are. You know, I appreciate all the support and all of the feedback from y'all, and it worked. Here we are. I'm back, man. As y'all can see on the screen, I have the New Orleans Pelicans, and I chose them because I did a lot of research and a lot of thinking before I actually started this, because I tried to, you know, find the perfect team and situation for me to do this series on, so that it could be entertaining for not only you but for me, so that I could want to do it and have fun doing it. And I asked for a lot of feedback from y'all on Twitter. I did a lot of different polls for a lot of teams, a lot of different situations, different trades. And prior to this, I had a series started, and I actually had an episode recorded and everything, and I was ready to put it out. But then the Jimmy Butler trade happened. And when that happened, it kind of made me want to start over so that I can integrate that trade into the series. And then also another reason was because the team that I had, we traded for pieces that was involved in the Jimmy Butler trade. I had the Washington Wizards. I had traded Bradley Beal to the Philadelphia 76ers for Dario Saric, Markelle Fultz, and JJ Redick. And after that happened, I was just like, let me start over. But yeah, the Pelicans. Reasons why I picked the Pelicans real quick. Again, I was on Twitter asking y'all a bunch of different questions. A lot of y'all made some solid points about whether I should, you know, do a culture change or do a rebuild. A lot of you said that a lot of people do rebuilds, and sometimes it's a little easy, and it's kind of repetitive. And then a lot of you were saying, you know, which team has the toughest route to rebuild? Do one of the tougher teams. But then it's kind of like, those teams are so tough to rebuild that there is really no, that it would take like a 15-year process, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to find the balance between fun, realistic, and then entertaining all in one. And I felt like that this Pelicans team can do that. We can do a culture change and have a rebuild with the same at the same time, which kind of allows us to kill two birds with one stone. Everybody gets a little bit of everything. But before we even start and get into the main part of this first episode, I want to do a quick roster overview with you guys so I can see what I'm working with and y'all can see what I'm working with, and then we'll go into the details about the direction I'm going to go into with this team. So first things first, we have Anthony Davis. There's not much to really speak on about him. We know what he brings. One of the top players in the NBA right now, still young at 25. They have him locked up for the next 2 years. Hasn't won a lot, so they've been thinking about moving him, or will he want us? Not thinking about moving him, but the question has been, will he want them to move him? We got Drew Holiday, still young at 28, all defensive first team last year. Mirotic, we know what he can do. 27, actually younger than Drew Holiday, which is something I did not know. A premier three-point shooter, and I think he complements the hell out of Anthony Davis in that front court. Julius Randle, young, 23, combo front court player, can play power forward or small ball center. I really like his game. To me, could go into that Draymond Green type of prototypical power forward, where a guy that can do a little bit of everything. Needs to work on that outside jumper still a little bit more, but has all the tools to become that type of player. Elfrid Payton, still young, Rondo-ish point guard, comes from that mold. Pass first, struggles with the outside shot, has good defensive potential, and still very young, like I said, and also on a 1-year deal. That's another thing to peep. A lot of these dudes on the last year of their contract or on a 1-year deal, which is something I'm going to be looking for throughout this series. The way I play, I like flexibility and versatility on the court, but I also want to have that off of the court when it comes to salary cap and our money situation. So at any point we want to upgrade our team to get better, we want to be able to do that without having to worry about what our cap looks like, or do we have enough money, or do we're going to have to move him in order to get him. We want to be able to upgrade and get better at any time we want or feel that we need to, without having to worry about anything. Ep1 Moore next. You know, Ep1 Moore is a good player. Kind of was asked to play a position that he but he is undersized in that small. For him to be a 6'4" small forward is wild, but they get it done. It works. Love his shot, shooting ability, his ability to knock down shots, especially in the corner. Like again, like I said about Mirotic, another great player to play off of Anthony Davis. And we're gonna try to find ways to get him into position to continue to do that at a high level for us. Darius Miller, just like Ep1 Moore, a guy that can knock down perimeter shots. Darius Miller has some good size for the perimeter defense, so we're gonna try to get him to buckle down and play some defense for us on the perimeter along with Drew Holiday. And again, a 1-year deal. So a lot of flexibility it looks like we're gonna be able to have, and we're gonna be able to choose who we want to bring back, and if there's anything on the market later on in the series, we'll be able to explore those options as well. Next, we got Solomon Hill, a guy who, you know, can add some perimeter defense, but his outside shooting ability kind of limits his time on the floor, and that's going to be a big issue for me personally. But the biggest thing about Solomon Hill is that contract. He has 2 more years left on his deal, but he's making $12 million per year as a 73 overall player who probably won't see a lot of minutes in the rotation. He'll have a spot, but he won't play a substantial amount of minutes. He just won't, and it's tough because that contract is going to be hard to shed and get rid of because his value is not really high. He's not a 3-and-D guy, which is what every team in the NBA is currently looking for, and those guys have the highest market value right now currently. So that's going to be interesting in this series, what we do with Solomon Hill. Next, we have Jahlil Okafor, 1-year deal again. I like Jahlil. I'm glad that we have him. I'm going to try to find him. I'm going to try to help him find himself in the NBA, and hopefully we can be the team that he buckles down with and takes advantage of his opportunity. He's going to be our backup center going forward. Still young, promising, was a lottery pick. His game just doesn't translate because he's not a shooting big. But we're going to find a way to make him successful. He's not a shooter. He's not a rim protector. He's not this athletic DeAndre Jordan, Clint Capella. You know, he's not those type of centers. He has the old school game, Al Jefferson-ish, where you just got to dump it down to him and let them go to work. But we're going to try to find a way to give him success. We rooting for him, definitely. Ian Clark, former champion with the Golden State Warriors, is a guy that can really knock down a lot of shots. Can play off the ball real well. Another like combo guard type dude. A 1-year deal again. So we're happy to see that we have a substantial amount of 1-year deals or expiring contracts that'll give us some flexibility in the future. Ian Clark could be a guy that when we make a move, because we are going to make a move this episode, he could be a part of that move that we're planning on making, because he's going to be an asset for teams. He can shoot, and that's what a lot of teams are looking for, guys who can knock down shots at any given moment, and he can definitely do that. Tim Frazier, another guard, backup guard, you know, kind of has a Shabazz Napier type feel. 1-year deal again. Cool point guard, not my typical type of point guard. I'm a fan of big point guards. I love size at that point guard position, and he lacks that at the 6'1" frame. But again, a nice floor leader. I won't call him a floor general, but he can lead on the floor and get guys into their spots and run the offense when you need him to off of the bench. Again, another 1-year deal, so we like to see that. And he might be a guy that we get off of the books as well, depending on what team we do the deal with. But he can bring some things to the floor if need be off of the bench. Check Diallo is a guy that I like. I'm very interested to have on this team. Still young at 22 years old. Has great length and size. I think can play a small ball center at 6'9". Last year of his deal, but I'm pretty sure he's on a rookie contract, so we're going to have him as a restricted free agent. He's going to get some time. We're going to try to mold him into a hustle guy that can come in and crash the glass and block some shots and be an energy presence off of the bench. I'm really excited to have him, and I think he has the potential to do some damage on the floor. Wesley Johnson, a veteran wing, versatile, especially in today's game, can play 2 through 4. We're going to be looking to play him at the 3 and 4 though, and hopefully he can stretch out the defense at the power forward position and knock down some shots. Again, 1-year deal, which is very, very good to see, especially with that salary that he's making. So we'll probably have that $6 million that he's making off of the books by the end of the season. We're going to have a lot of money off of the books. A lot of dudes on these 1-year deals, and they're going to add up and free up a lot of cap, and that's something that I love to see already. Frank Jackson, a young point guard, 1-year deal as well, but again, he's on his rookie contract, so he'll probably be a restricted free agent. Can shoot the ball real good. Bigger than Frazier at 6'3". Playmaking isn't as good because he's still very young, so we're going to try to probably allow him to get mentored by some of the older guards so he can get that into his game if there's room for him to get mentored. But there might be some minutes for him. It might be some minutes for him out there to explore and get some time so he can grow and develop. And he could be a part of our future. If not, he could be a trade piece, because I think at 6'3" and with his shooting ability, he can be some type of asset to a team. Kenrich Williams, 2-way contract. To be completely honest, he probably won't play at all in the series. He might not stay on this team for a long-term 1-year deal, so that's good to see. But yeah, there's just not a lot of room for him. As a 68 overall wing, we have so many wings ahead of him that besides the chance of us having a few or many injuries, it's just unlikely that he'll see the floor. Then last but not least, Trayvon Blewett. Again, same situation as Williams. Just they play a position that's very stacked. But luckily for them, they're on a 2-year deal, so they'll be playing in the D League or G League for most of this. The thing about Trayvon Blewett is that he does have great size, can shoot the ball very, very well. That's the one thing that could get him some time on the floor for us. But in all actuality, he realistically won't see any time for us, which is okay, because that's a deep position for us. And again, both of them are on 1-year deals and are making less than $1 million. So if we ever need to cut them, because I know the roster is full and we might have to cut them, it won't hurt us too much because they're not making a substantial amount of money like other players would. But after the roster review, I'm happy with what we have. Like I said, we have a lot of 1-year deals and a lot of dudes on expiring deals, which is going to give us the flexibility we want in the future when it comes time to play around with free agency or around a trade deadline. If there's somebody selling, or trying to fold their season, we could go out and be buyers because we'll have money coming our way in free agency. But I like the overall of our team. I love the versatility. We have a lot of guys that can play multiple positions. We have a lot of guys that can guard multiple positions, and that is something that we're going to look forward to a lot. After rudely being interrupted by my previous controller dying on me, we back. But like I was saying, a lot of versatility on the court, a lot of guys that can play multiple positions and that can guard multiple positions. And the way that the NBA is going with positionless basketball, that's going to be a big thing that we're going to try to emphasize with our team. Before we get to the main event, I want to look at our staff. Alvin Gentry has done a good job for them. But me personally, since I'm now the new GM of this team, and I'm getting the full reins, and they have been disappointing. the last couple of weeks, because they did start off very, very good and on fire, and now they're sitting there at 6-6 and have lost a few. I'm thinking we might go in a different direction. Again, this usually happens in real life when a team is taken over by a new front office or a new person in charge. The coach is usually one of the first people to go, because the new GM likes to bring in their own people that they feel can do things how they want. So I'm seeing he still has 3 years left. Unfortunately, I'm gonna fire. That's the wrong. I fired the wrong dude. We're gonna fire him too. We're gonna fire him too. I was wondering why they made me do it. Wow. He just got fired for no reason. Okay. Now let's get to Alvin Gentry. Now we're gonna fire Alvin. We out here firing people on accident. But yeah, I just want to go in a different direction. I want to play my style of basketball. I want to bring my own people into the fold. I think y'all gonna like who I'm about to hire. Y'all don't really know yet. I know a lot of y'all guessing. I'm actually disappointed because the dude that I am hiring, he isn't on the game. I know he has another job or whatever, but they should still put him on the game. Like, come on, 2K, stop being cheap. Just put him on the game. Unless he's telling them not to put him on the game, which I highly doubt. But the New Orleans Pelicans, after hiring myself as the lead GM in this front office and organization, we're hiring Mark Jackson. Every time a coach is fired, he's one of the first names to come up. Literally every single time. He's the guy I'm gonna go with. I'm a big fan of Mark Jackson. I think he doesn't get a lot of credit for Golden State in their success, because he really did put that team together, and he did develop and take Curry to another level that we hadn't seen before Mark Jackson was there. So we're going to bring him into our fold and ask him to do the same thing, and it'll make sense to y'all right now, because what we're about to do is about to change the entire landscape of the Pelicans as a franchise and organization going forward. And the first move I'm going to make as the GM is I'm going to trade Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis got to get traded. It's just, it's not a lot that we can do for him right now. We won't be able to put a championship roster around him going forward, so we have to trade him. And I would rather trade him now while there's still 2 years on this deal, and we have some type of leverage before he has that 1 year deal, and then we have to kind of trade him low. The team that we're going to trade him to is the Los Angeles Lakers. They have a lot of young talent that intrigues us, and this is a team that actually would want him in real life, and it has been rumored to be one of his suitors, because he is now represented by Clutch Sports, which is Rich Paul, who was LeBron's buddy. I've explored and played around with 2K prior to this series, so I'm aware that the Lakers don't really give up Lonzo. Lonzo is a dude that they never really want to trade, because he has some type of potential programmed into their franchise that, like, they would trade anybody before Lonzo. Lonzo is just a dude that they never want to trade on his game. So I'm not even going to ask for Lonzo. I'm going to ask for Brandon Ingram, Kuzma, and I want that first round pick. We'll do top 3 protected. Fine. And yeah, this is the deal that they come up with. And this is the deal that I'm fine with. I would love to get Lonzo, but because they're not going to give Lonzo, trust me, I'm not even going to waste our time in this video and make that a lingering problem. Same thing with Josh Hart. In real life, I think this would be a nice deal, or a more reasonable deal to see in real life, just because Anthony Davis is very, 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 very good. We all know that. But the Lakers aren't going to break their team up to get him, and then they don't have the other surrounding pieces. So what this trade does, while we're getting Ingram, Kuzma, Caldwell Pope, and a first round pick, the Lakers are still able to hold on to Lonzo and Josh Hart. So now you would have a lineup of where it's, you know, Lonzo, Josh Hart, LeBron, Anthony Davis and McGee, unless they wanted to go small and have Lonzo, Hart. I don't know who their three would be. Bron and Davis. I don't think they have anybody that can step up and be that three besides LeBron, so they're forced to kind of play big, unless they start Lance Stevenson, which is something I doubt. Like I said again, I've been exploring and playing around, doing my research for this series before I actually got this episode out to y'all. So I already knew that this was going to be the deal that they were going to give, because I wanted to come in a video and do everything on a certain time that I didn't want to have to explore and wonder too much on here. This was the best deal that I saw that would be available for Anthony Davis that I would want. These are two players that I'm extremely high on, and Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma. Caldwell Pope is on the end of his deal, that 1-year deal that he has for $12 million. That's $12 million off of our books. And then that first round pick we can pair with the first round pick that we have. I think while doing this trade, we're still going to be a competitive team. I just don't know how competitive, because the West is really, really good. So if we don't make the playoffs and the Lakers don't go to the championship, or even if they do go to the championship, we'll have 2 first-round picks. And I believe in our scouting and drafting ability that we'll make both of those picks very valuable. If not, there's always the option to pair the picks and to do some type of trade. So we're gonna bring it here, and one thing I am gonna do is I'm gonna ask them. I'm gonna try to see if we can give them Ian Clark instead of Diallo, because like I said, I'm high on Diallo, number 1, and then number 2, I think it'll be more realistic that the Lakers would ask for a shooter with Anthony Davis, somebody that can make some type of perimeter shots, because that's something that they're really, really lacking. And now they say they're not interested. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back out, and I'm gonna go back to the Lakers. 2K is such a crazy game, because like when you do Trade Finder in any type of way, they want you to do the exact trade that they gave, right? So because I'm trading or taking away Check Diallo, they don't want to. Maybe let me see if I can propose a trade. Sometimes they don't even take it if you propose it. You must take the Trade Finder trade. I'm not a big Trade Finder guy, but what I did learn about 2K is what I just mentioned, that they don't like to approve a lot of your trades without you using the Trade Finder. So what I do is I'll do a trade and I'll see if it's green and that it could be accepted by both sides, and then I'll take it to Trade Finder and then let them, think that they just found a trade for me, which in actuality they really didn't. Maybe they won't check Diallo. We're gonna give them Check Diallo then. Fine. Y'all won't check that bad. They need shooting. We'll give you Check though. Don't even worry, Lakers. We're gonna give you Check. We're gonna give you Check. There's no reason for you to want him or to take him, but they want him so bad. We're gonna give him to you. 2K's logic is all bent. So now here's a roster overview. After that trade, Drew Holiday, of course, we still have and still value. Brandon Ingram, Mirotic, Randall is now our starting center. That's our starting front court, Mirotic and Randall. We have Kuzma who'll come off the bench. Alfred Payton will come off the bench. Ep1 Moore will start. We're going to start Ep1 Moore, and then Caldwell Pope will come off the bench. I don't know why Caldwell Pope overall is going down. He should be happy. Maybe it's because he's going to New Orleans from LA. But yeah, our bench will be Alfred Payton, Caldwell Pope, Darius Miller, Kyle Kuzma, and then Jahlil Okafor. I don't know why Solomon Hill. I just don't understand why their ratings are going down. Solomon Hill wasn't even involved in the trade. He's mad because we traded for his position or something. Like I don't know. 2K's logic is crazy. But yeah. And before we end this video of episode 1, I just want to show y'all what I'm going to do with the new acquired pieces, because we're not going to run a typical lineup or offense that y'all will probably be expecting. So, and since he want to have a problem with me trading for somebody, we gonna put him in the reserve. He not even gonna play for us. He don't get no minutes. We gonna irritate and aggravate the hell out of him, and to the point where we have to trade him, because that's how useless he is in my eyes. But Brandon Ingram is gonna be my point guard. I told y'all before, I like big point guards. I love Ben Simmons. I loved when they put Greek Freak at the point guard. Penny Hardaway is one of my favorite players of all time. I love that. I loved when James Harden was the point guard. When Russell Westbrook got hurt in the playoffs against the Rockets and they put Durant at point guard, I was a fan of that. I'm going to allow Brandon Ingram to be our point guard, and I'm going to have him play a Greek Freak type of role, and we're going to put a lot of different pieces around him to open up the floor. He's played point guard before in his career. When Lonzo was hurt last year, Luke Walton had him play point guard, and he had a great stretch of like 7 to 9 games where he looked great. We're going to give him that position, and we're going to have Drew Holiday, of course, be his backcourt mate. Ep1 Moore still playing the small forward position like he previously did. Myleague is a stretch four who's going to open up the floor. And then Julius Randle is the center, who's not a typical center or power forward. Is a guy that can put the ball on the floor, can create shots for others. We just need him to start knocking down shots at a higher clip. And then off of the bench, we have Kuzma, who's a go-getter and that can shoot lights out. And we'll also be able to have lineups where it's Kuzma and Myleague in the front court while Brandon Ingram is still playing point. So that's going to be a lineup that's going to be real fun and that can really open up the floor for Ingram. Because I don't know how you're going to guard any type of pick and roll situation with Kuzma and Myleague while Ingram is the ball handler. Then we also still have Elfrid Payton off of the bench, who's a solid point guard, and in my opinion, it can still be a starting point guard in this league. We also have Caldwell Pope, who's a knockdown shooter and can play some perimeter defense. We're going to work on Okafor, trying to get him some type of situation and some comfortability in the rotation. Then we still will have Ian Clark, Darius Miller, Wesley Johnson, guys who can knock down perimeter shots and play some decent team defense. Ian Clark isn't the best defender, but Darius Miller and Wesley Johnson have the type of length that can give us something off of the bench when it comes down to defense. And then Wesley Johnson has the versatility that we're going to treasure and prioritize, because he can play the 3-4. He can guard a 3 and a 4 and a 2, and sometimes maybe a 1. So we're going to explore a lot of different lineups and a lot of different scenarios with this group of guys, but the main thing is to just let Ingram be our point guard. I think he's going to be the point guard of the future, and we're just going to go with this look. And from here on out, we're going to build this team around Brandon Ingram being the point guard. I love Drew Holiday. I think he complements that, and I think defensively it'll erase the fact that Ingram is our point guard, because, you know, when we play against teams with great point guards like the Warriors or like Westbrook and all these different, Damian Lillard, Drew Holiday can still guard those guards, so that Brandon Ingram isn't out on the island asked to do something that he's going to fail at doing. So I think we have some versatility. I think we're going to expose and push towards the positionless basketball movement that's going on in the NBA, and I think we can still compete at a high level, and we're going to do that. We're going to, if we can win games and be a team that can fight for an 8-7 seed with this team, because Ingram is young, but he was expected to have a breakout season, and we're going to cater to him to be a breakout player. Kuzma is in his 2nd year. Randle was in his 4th, 5th year. Myleague is a seasoned veteran who's been in the playoffs. Holiday's been as a seasoned veteran who's been in the playoffs. Ep1 Moore has been in the playoffs. These are guys. It's not a young team. We have youth, but there's experience with that youth that allows me to think that we might be able to fight and compete. And if not, we'll have 2 first-round picks, and one of them will be extremely high, and we'll go in the draft and add somebody real dynamic to the team that's only going to make us better. And like I said, we're going to have flexibility in the cap and on the court, and that's going to allow us to flourish and compete at a high level. But that's it for episode 1. Anthony Davis is in Los Angeles with LeBron, and New Orleans is rebuilding through a culture change. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, this is an opportunity for me to give the viewers and you guys a chance to get the best of both worlds. We're rebuilding this team through a culture change. Anthony Davis is gone. You know, after so many years with the Pelicans and him being the face of the Pelicans, he's gone. So that's the change in the culture from there. It's no longer trying to build a team to get Anthony Davis deep in the playoffs. It's a team that now we're just out here trying to put together the best team that we can with the pieces that we have. And whether we win or not, this team is going to be getting rebuilt. When the free agency and the draft comes along, we're going to be making moves to improve this team and the bench. So I appreciate y'all watching. Let me know what y'all think of the moves: hiring Mark Jackson, firing Alvin Gentry, trading Anthony Davis, getting Brandon Ingram and putting him at the point guard. Give me the feedback. Let me know what y'all are expecting. If you're new, subscribe, leave a like and a comment, and give me some feedback. Appreciate y'all watching. Big Stacks out.
Porzingis again!
That brought the crowd to their feet.